Now, let's take a look at how to add rooms to a project and review them inside a client's job. From the home screen, we'll open one of our existing clients, in this case, Jessica Ramirez. Once we're inside the job, you'll notice a section at the top called Most Commonly Used. The app automatically tracks the room names you use most often and places them here for quick access. That way, you don't have to type the same room names over and over again. Scenario 1. Using a common room name. For our first example, we'll select Kitchen. When we tap that, a window form opens automatically. The room name is already assigned as Kitchen, and the system starts with Window A. From here, we simply capture our measurements. Once we're finished, we press Save. You'll see a confirmation message that says Room created successfully, and now the kitchen appears in the client overview. Scenario 2. Typing a room name. Let's go back to the home screen and open the same client again. This time, we'll tap Quick Measure. Here, the room name field starts blank, so we can begin typing. As we type, the app will automatically search and suggest previously used room names. In this case, we'll select Breakfast Nook. The window form opens again, starting with Window A. We capture a few measurements, then press Save. Once again, we see the Room created successfully message, and now Breakfast Nook appears in the project overview. Now, when it comes to residential jobs, naming rooms and windows is usually pretty straightforward. But commercial projects can get a little more complicated. So let's go over a couple concepts that will make these types of jobs much easier to organize. First, take a look at this example. This is an unfinished commercial space. There are no walls yet, no offices, no partitions, just open windows around the perimeter of the building. When you run into a situation like this, the easiest way to organize things is to start with the building orientation. For example, maybe we're on the 3rd floor, and this wall happens to be the north side of the building. So we might name this area something like Floor 3 North Wall. Many people use shorthand for this. For example, you might write something like F3N for Floor 3 North Wall. Now, once you've defined that orientation, you simply start measuring the windows left to right, just like we always do. So this becomes Window A, Window B, Window C, Window D, and so on as you move down the wall. If you move to another side of the building, let's say the east wall, you would simply create another section called Floor 3 East Wall and repeat the same process. Again, measuring left to right, naming windows A, B, C, and so on. Now, let's look at another commercial example. In this case, the space is a little more structured. Imagine you walk into the job from the elevator bank and the entire space belongs to one tenant. Maybe we'll call it Bob's office. So the project name might be Bob's office, and inside that project you create one room with the same name. From there, you follow the same fundamental rule. You walk the space left to right, measuring windows as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and continuing around the perimeter of the room until you return to where you started. If you encounter something special, for example, side lights next to doors, you could capture those separately. You might name them Side Light A, Side Light B, Side Light C, and so on. Now, let's take one more scenario, something like a hotel. Hotels often have multiple floors and repeating room layouts. So instead of naming windows by wall orientation, it may make more sense to organize things by room number. For example, room 122. The numbering already tells you the floor and location. Room 122 is typically floor 1, room 22. Inside that room, you simply capture window A and window B. Then you move to the next room, maybe room 124, and record window A, window B, window C. The goal is to create a clear, consistent structure so that your installers, office staff, and project managers can easily understand exactly which windows belong to which areas. Now, while you're working inside the client overview, you may occasionally realize that you want to change the name of a room or group. Maybe you typed something incorrectly, or maybe as you move through the job, you think of a better way to organize things. That's very easy to update. Simply tap the orange edit icon in the top right corner of the room. Then tap directly into the name field and update the room. After saving, the new name will immediately appear in your project overview. This makes it easy to adjust and reorganize your rooms on the fly as you work through the job.